y'all, welcome back to As We Grow. I'm out here doing some chores and it is a hot one today, but we got a little bit of a breeze, so that's making it bearable. And I'm out here changing the chickens' water and giving them some food, I'm filling the food things up and just cleaning up some things, and I've got to put some more straw in their chicken nesting boxes. And I wanted to show y'all my rose bush, my knockout rose bush got kind of hit pretty hard while we were gone on our trip to Texas. So they don't call them June bugs for nothing. They come out in June and they devour your plants. Mostly the leaves, the roses aren't hurting from it. I had snipped off some of the old, I missed one right there. But something that's good that you could put on your plants when this is going on, and I don't rarely like to put this on that often unless it's a really bad infestation, is diatomaceous earth. And it's kind of like a fossilized type product. So when you put it on your plants, not only will it kill off or ward off the June bugs, but any kind of insect, even your pollinators, it will hurt them greatly. So you don't want to put that on your plants that often. But since this rose bush got hit pretty hard, I'm going to go ahead and put some on there. Everybody that knows me knows that I like to recycle anything and everything that I can. So I got an old McDonald's cup here with a little bit of diatomaceous earth in it, and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle it on there just a tad bit. I'm not gonna go too heavy-handed with it, just enough to kind of coat the plant a little bit, and hopefully they'll leave my rose bush alone. Girls are over here all clustered together. They think I'm gonna bring a treat in there for them, which I probably am getting ready to. I pulled my Chinese pink celery the other day, and it kind of bolted while I was gone. So instead of wasting it, I'm just gonna go ahead and feed it to the chickens. They get them a nice little tasty treat. Y'all check it out. My gladiolas are peeping. I have some nice, pretty, big red flowers on there. And my zinnias are finally starting to pop. Beautiful colors. I got some pink right there, some orange, some yellow. Just beautiful. And the June bugs are trying to get at it, but I don't want to pollinate. Not pollinate. I don't want to put the diatomaceous earth on these because they're flowers and the bees will pollinate from them. So I'm just going to kind of slowly just pick off the June bugs as I see them. I picked off a few just a little while ago and fed them to the chickens. They loved it. And we finally got around to moving the green stalk down where it can get more sun, and I need to water it. And I'm just going to see if those seeds will grow. I'm going to give it about a week or two, and if not, we'll just have to reseed, or I might just go and get some slips and put in the place of them. The microgreens are looking lovely and green. I love the neon colors, and it's got some purples in there. Just beautiful. We still have not ate any yet. Like I said, we're kind of a little bit trying to get back on track of schedule from our Texas trip. So eventually I'll get around to eating those and giving some to the chickens. Cut up some of the celery stalks. Watch the girls go wild. They're like, yay, some greens, mama, thank ya. So while the pool's been filling up with some nice clean water, I scrubbed it up real good for the girls. I went ahead and went to my orange mint. You can see here, I'm gonna throw that in the water as well, give them a little nice, cool, tasty treat. I think they'll enjoy it. And that'll entice them into getting into the water and cooling down a bit. Although the old water that I spilled out, they look like they're enjoying that right thoroughly in the shade over here as well. I decided to come down here real quick and take a peek at my garden And I wanted to show y'all something. We have a lot of trouble with squash bugs. We call them squash bugs, but they're aphids. They basically lay their eggs on the back of your squash leaves, and then they hatch and they can destroy your squash plant in minutes. So I wanted to show you what I do. So I basically take the backs of my squash leaves and I flip them over and look. And let me show you what they look like. So they're just these little tiny red eggs. And I just take my fingers and try to get them off the leaf. Even if you kind of rip the leaf when you get them off, it's better for you to try to get them off and kind of squish them in your hands. So that kind of can deter them from hatching and eating your plants up. And you have to be very cautious because sometimes they'll lay on top of the plant as well. So I just take them and I squish them as I rub them off. And a lot of people will spray stuff on their plants to try to get rid of them. I typically don't. I just kind of let my garden do what it's going to do. I try to succession sow so that I do get somewhat of a good crop out of my squashes, but I just kind of let it do its thing. And if I catch it in time, I try to get them eggs off and squish them so that I won't get an infestation of the aphids. While I'm down here, I was going to tell you on bed number 2, I think really when we went off that whole week, we got a bunch of rain down here. And I think that's why my green beans are yellowing, because they just got absolutely too much rain. So maybe, hopefully, they'll bounce back. But if not, like I told y'all, I cannot say that word, succession sow. And so I've got some more green beans coming up in this in-ground raised bed over here. And you can see that they have came up since I've been gone. So if I lose these in the bed, I still have these in the in-ground raised bed. So that's kind of how you work around that. Gardening is just kind of a learning experience. I don't care how far you are into your garden experience. It's going to have its ups and downs, and sometimes you just kind of got to go with the flow of it. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to see what bed 2 will do with them green beans in it. I've already pulled my broccoli and my cabbage and gave those to the chickens. I planted those, but we had a wonky spring. We had some cold fronts, which was not too terribly bad on the cabbages, but then it turned off mega hot real quick, and it was just not a good time. So I'm going to try to do the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts and the cabbage during the fall, hopefully. And this bed over here, I've got a few things kind of popping up. And so I'm just going to dub this as my experimental bed this year. And we're just going to go with the flow of it. And if it ends up looking like this most of the season, so be it. And if it produces some, that will be great. And then if I can just work with it and experiment with it and get better with it and see what's going on with it, that will be great too, which I will probably be doing off and on, just kind of playing with it. So we're going to dub number 1 bed as the experimental bed from now on for this season, and just take grace because the rest of the garden is doing pretty well. I mean, you know, this in-ground bed over here is doing well. This circle bed over here is doing well. My makeshift bed by the circle bed is doing well. I have a few tomatoes that are kind of, but they're doing well for the majority of it. And if we walk over here, the experimental in-ground bed that I did a couple of videos back, it's doing right nicely as well. So I'm not having a complete flop, so to speak. My garden is doing pretty decent. So we're just gonna take what we can get and be happy with what we can harvest. It might be an imperfect garden, but for probably 90% of it, it's doing very well. So we'll just see where the season takes us. But I want to take y'all up to the house. This is another reason why I decided to get on here and do a video today. And y'all have to excuse me sometimes. I get sidetracked. And so, yeah, of course, I have a lot here right at the beginning of it, but there was just a few things I just wanted to talk to y'all about real quick. But we have some new farm animals that has came to our little homestead, and I want to take you up to the house and introduce y'all to them. One of them come from Texas, and the other one came from Virginia Beach. So let's walk up to the house and I'm going to show you who we brought along to add to our funny farm, if you want to call it that. There is Mr. Rabbit that was in my garden the other day and was trapped and couldn't get out. I ran up to the house to get the video camera and oh, he's off. And that's how fast they go. There's some cardinals loving the bird seed. I don't know if y'all can see them real good. They were on the other side, but now they done flew away. So I just want to give y'all a little backstory. The thing that I brought back from Texas, my Aunt Sandy cleans houses for a living, and she worked for these people that had what I'm getting ready to show you. And they just weren't home a whole lot. They were working a lot more hours, and they just wanted to be able to give this thing, I'm just going to say thing for right now, to somebody that had more time to take up with them and spend some time with them and everything. So I'm going to go get her and show y'all the new family member that we have brought home. So let me introduce you to Susu. She is a Yorkie, and she's 10 years old. Hi, Gertie. What are you doing? And she is our new addition to our homestead. When we brought her home, I would have introduced y'all a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted her to get familiar with the house and the home and the land and everything before, you know, I got her on video. So say hey, Susu. Say hello. We got a groomer down in Texas that I take my other Orkie and Yorkie down this time. He did twilight my Chorkie one year when we were down. They have these little round balls in Texas that have little spike things, and it had gotten into her fur real bad. So I got him to, you know, shave her down kind of really close, and he did such a wonderful job that I brought Twilight and Sully back this year. And we got Miss Little Susu a haircut too. And then we got back and got her a little collar with the flower on it, and the little bell on it. And she's fitting in quite nicely. The other dogs that I have made her feel welcome. They, like she's always been here. So this is one of the new farm animals that we have brought home. So the other farm animals, and yes, I did say animals, I didn't actually go get them. They were brought to me, and the backstory on them is they came from Virginia Beach. My next door neighbor, Jamie, come over the other day. She was getting ready to go down there to see her son. Her son had rescued these. They were kind of thrown into his yard, and he asked her, would she want to take them, or did she know anybody that would want to take them on? And she thought about me, so she come down here to ask me if I would like to take them on. And I told her sure. So she brought them by the other day, and got to go in the house to show you what they are. So we have 5 Australorp chickens, I believe is what they are. That's kind of what they look like, but we're not quite sure, but I think that's what they are. And he rescued them, and got them put in this little tote with some feeders with the water and the food, and his mom brought them to me. But the one in the front there, if you can tell, let me see if I can zoom in. It actually has feathers on its feet. So I don't think that's ocelot chicken. Oh great, you pooed on the video. I think she might be something different. And I think she's the only one that's got the feathers on her feet. I don't know, she might be a bantam. Some bantam chickens have feathers on their feet. I'm not quite sure. I'll just have to wait until they get a little bit older. But aren't they cute? How can you turn down that? So with them added to the flock, we'll have 45 total in all. My coop itself can hold up to 75 chickens, but I don't think I'll ever get up to that number. But I'm not going to say never, because you just never know. I just wanted to give them a couple of days to kind of adjust their surroundings before I video them on the YouTube blog. I usually try to do my video in a week in advance, so anything that I record is usually coming out the following week. So we're still in the week of where we have came home from Texas, and I'm almost 100% back to full capacity. But let me tell you, we go every other year, and every other year we get much older, and the trip is just a little bit more taxing. It's about a 23-hour drive. I think I've mentioned that before. Up there, and 23 hours back. I don't know. I might not have my geography quite right. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm still kind of brain dead a little bit, because it takes a while for your body to recuperate and get plenty of sleep and get well rested from a trip like that. So it will probably take me the rest of this week to get back to normal. So right now we're just keeping them in the bathroom. The chicks that I have out in the brooder will be going out in another 2 weeks or so. So we're just going to keep them in the bathroom until they go out, and then we'll put them out there in the brooder in the place of the other ones. I know that these are not like new farm animals, like as far as something different, but they are farm animals that we're welcoming in to our little homestead. Anybody that knows me knows that I have a heart for animals. I just love animals. Sometimes I can't say no, but like I said, we live out on 5 acres of land. We are here for the most part, and then when we aren't here, I do have somebody come in and take very good care of my animals. So I hope you enjoyed the 2 new additions to the farm, and y'all have a great day. Until next time, we'll be talking to you soon.